what's really scary about Dallas, so they open the playoffs against old, experienced L.A. Clippers. Got rid of them. Next, it was, as an underdog, the young, talented, ascending OKC Thunder. Got rid of them. And then it was the best defensive team in the league, the biggest team in the league, Minnesota. Got rid of them, 3 for 3. Next up, the Celtics. They take the most threes, they make the most threes. But so far, 3 different variations. The veterans, the talented kids, and the big, intense defenders knocked them all out. The Mavericks, because of those moves at the trade deadline, have been a very good team in an era of a lot of very good teams. We'll have our 6th different champion this year. But unlike the Celtics, I actually see great. Not all the time, but I see it. And that first half for Dallas, that was all-time stuff. Luka did what he did to Phoenix a couple years ago into Game 7. And I've said this about Boston, who watched that last night with the rest of us. Boston's a very, very high-functioning team. Very good collaboration and chemistry. But I don't see great because their number one player, Jason Tatum, sometimes drifts. He's off ball, doesn't control the game. The Mavs have a lower floor because they are dependent often on Luka. But to me, I watched last night, Dallas has a higher ceiling. Whereas the Celtics can overcome an off-Tatum night and still win by double digits. Now, some of that is the Eastern Conference. Dallas can't, I don't think, have off-Luka nights. But here's the thing, he's not really having any. Luka is the best tough shot maker I've ever seen. You'll push back and you'll say Steph. But Steph moves so quickly. He's so nimble and twitchy and quick. He gets lots of open looks. What about Kobe? Kobe could jump over you, more athletic than Luka. Luka scores body on body. Degree of difficulty is all-time stuff. He can get separation from time to time, but usually it's in a crowd, bumping off somebody, leaning into somebody. A great tough shot maker. Another advantage for Dallas is the best way to win a championship, unless you're a dynasty and just have more good players, is to be a slight underdog that's actually played better competition and beaten several teams in many close games. That builds confidence. That is not Boston. That's absolutely Dallas. Plus, we can now stop debating something. The 2 best players in this league, and it's going to be this way for a long time, are Jokic and Luka. Now, again, face of the league doesn't have to be the best player. Sometimes Tim Duncan, best player for years, they don't really want to embrace it. But Jokic and Luka are the best players in the league. What you're watching with Luka offensively, is Michael Jordan dominance, but a much better passer. And whereas we used to complain when LeBron came into this league and challenged MJ as the greatest all time, and it was a fair criticism early, LeBron didn't have that killer instinct. He passed up big shots too often. Yeah, that's not Luka. Luka takes it as a personal affront if a kid 30 rows in snickers at him. He's offended by anybody that doesn't consider him the best player on the floor. So Dallas is a very good team that in spurts of the 2 teams left shows me greatness. And what's scary is those spurts of greatness are getting longer and more sustained and happening more frequently, and I'm not sure who I like in the finals. The reason Kyrie Irving is in Dallas is because of Luka. The truly all-time greats force the owner's hand, force the GM's hand. Kobe did this in Los Angeles, and they went and got Pau Gasol. They took a big swing. They couldn't just sit there. I mean, Dirk Nowitzki's a Hall of Famer, but Dirk got his title at 32. Luka is 25. He already has more all-NBA first-team selections than Steph Curry and more all-time than Dirk. He's only been in the league 6 years. Luka isn't just a Hall of Famer. He feels like a dynasty guy, multiple title guy. You could be a little more patient with just a mere Hall of Famer like Dirk, a really nice guy. But Luka's got an edge and impatience and anger and a game that even Dirk didn't have. So they sat there. Jalen Brunson takes them along with Luka to the Western Conference Finals. They let Jalen Brunson leave, right? He moves to New York, and he starts crushing. And now it's embarrassing. And Nico Harrison and Mark Cuban think, okay, this isn't Dirk. No, this is Dirk plus jet fuel. This is Dirk playing with 25 more pounds, stronger, a little better, with 12 Red Bulls in him. This is different. Luka's different. I don't just throw out the MJ thing. This is what MJ looked like. MJ more vertical, Luka the better passer. Like the world's best athletes can't stop him. I mean, game's over. First 153 seconds, 10 points. NBA game. Against the best defensive team in the league. And so they take a swing, and they needed to take a swing, and when they took it, I remember going on the air and saying, you've got to do something. Don't do Andrew Luck and play the patient game. Go out and get star receivers, edge rushers. Okay, you got to take a big swing. Kyrie blew up the Celtics, blew up the Cavs with LeBron. He blew up Brooklyn. And I said, you got to do it. You got to take a swing. And they did, and it's worked. I don't think it's going to be a 35-year marriage. This is not going to last forever. There'll be divorce proceedings eventually. I mean, let's be honest. In May of 2017, Kyrie came out and said he and LeBron had the kind of special relationship and trust that you could never find in the league. In July, he requested a trade. Okay, so he's a very emotional guy. And it may not work forever. But, bro, it's working now. And when it's working, like last night, and in that first half, there's nothing like it in the league. There is nothing like this in the league. And I said it then, and I'll say it again. Not every relationship you can date and you can marry. You can day trade, you can do a 401k. Kyrie's not lasting forever. It doesn't have to. But for the time, for the moment, he's in his essence, and Dallas is humming. I mean, let's be honest. He had no market. Kyrie Irving out of Brooklyn was a hazmat spill with a jumper. But because of that, Dallas didn't have to give hardly anything up. We looked it up this morning. The average cost to acquire an all-star, 3 or 4 top picks, pick swaps, high-level players. Dallas gave up 1 first-rounder and 2 vets. That's it. They took a huge swing. Huge swings in life don't have to pay off forever. They have to pay off now, especially if you don't surrender much to get them. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.